Welcome to all my dear Bhaiya Bahan in English class today. We are going to start the same chapter again, that is the enemy. In this chapter we have read so many things, like Dr. Sadao was treating the young man. How did Hana help Dr. Sadao? How Dr. Sadao was going to operate that man? How Hana gave that man anesthesia to make him unconscious. Today we are again going to start the same story, the enemy. Today we shall start from the paragraph. She crouched close to the sleeping face of the young American. It was a piteously thin face, she thought, and the lips were twisted. The man was suffering whether he knew it or not. Watching him, she wondered if the stories they heard sometimes of the sufferings of prisoners were true. They came like flickers of rumor told by word of mouth and always contradicted. In the newspapers, the reports were always that wherever the Japanese armies went, the people received them gladly, with cries of joy at their liberation. But sometimes he remembered such men as General Takima, who at home beat his wife cruelly. Though no one mentioned it now that he had fought so victorious a battle in Manchuria. If a man like that could be so cruel to a woman in his power, would he not be cruel to one like this, for instance? Very good. In this paragraph, we see see some words like crouched. Crouched means sit in a squatting position. Piteously means causing you to feel sad and sympathetic. By word of mouth means people tell it to each other rather than it being printed in written form. Manchuria. Manchuria is the place of northeast China, is the homeland of the Manchu people. To the Chinese, the region is simply known as the northeast. Manchuria is made up of Chinese three northeasternmost provinces like Liaoning, Jilin, and Heilongjiang. In this paragraph, we see Hannah sat in a squat and went close to the face of the sleeping American man. She felt sad and sympathetic towards him as she saw his thin face and twisted lips. She knew that he was suffering. She wondered whether the stories that she had heard about the torture meted out to the prisoners were true. The stories were like rumors which spread when people told them to others. On the other hand, in the printed media like the newspapers, it was mentioned that the Japanese army was welcomed wherever it went, and people praised it for their freedom. Hana recalled an officer of the Japanese army. His name was General Takima, who was very cruel to his wife and would beat her. No one talked about it anymore as he had won the war in Manchuria. Hana thought that if a man could be cruel towards his wife, then he could also be cruel to the prisoners in his captivity. You must have understood here that Japanese armies was welcomed everywhere they went. But Hana recalled an officer of the Japanese army, General Takima, who was very cruel to his wife and would beat her. Here Hannah thought, suppose if a general could beat his wife in the same way, if this prisoner will be given to that armies, how will they behave with this man? So Hannah here compares, if a man is cruel for his wife, he must be cruel for the enemy also. So she hoped anxiously that this young man had not been tortured. It was at this moment that she observed deep red scars on his neck just under the ear. When Hannah was thinking such thing, Hannah hoped that the man had not been tortured by the army. Just then she saw deep red colored marks, you can say injury marks on his neck under the ear. Here scars means marks. You must have seen on somebody's face there will be marks, there will be scars. Those scars, she murmured, lifting her eyes to Sadao, but he did not answer. At this moment, he felt the tip of his instrument strike against something hard, dangerously near the kidney. All thought left him. He felt only the purest pleasure. He probed with his fingers delicately, familiar with every atom of this human body. His old American professor of anatomy had seen to that knowledge. Ignorance of the human body is the surgeon's cardinal sin, sirs. He had thundered at his classes year after year to operate without as complete knowledge of the body as if you had made it anything else than that is murder. See what the writer has told in this paragraph. Here, probed means searched. Anatomy means the branch of science concerned with the bodily structure of humans, animals, and other living organisms, especially as revealed by dissection and the separation of parts. Cardinal means basic or first. In this paragraph, we see Hannah mentions the scars to Sadao and asked about them. Sadao did not answer. At that moment, the tip of his instrument hit something hard. Or which was this hard thing? It was the bullet. It was very close to the kidney. Sadao was not thinking of anything else. He was happy to have finally found the bullet. He moved his fingers inside the wound. Sadao was familiar with the tiniest part of the human body. His professor of anatomy in America had told them that if a surgeon ignored the knowledge of any part of the body, it was the first misdeed that he had committed. To operate upon a body without detailed knowledge of it as much as the person who makes it has would amount the committing murder of that body. Sadao's professor would repeat these words in his class often. Means if you don't know how to operate the body and you have operated, it is a kind of murder of that person. So, my dear, we all know that Dr. Sadao was a very good surgeon. He couldn't make mistakes. It is not quite at the kidney, my friend, Sadao murmured. It was his habit to murmur to the patient when he forgot himself in an operation. My friend, he always called his patients, and so now he did, forgetting that this was his enemy. In this paragraph, we see Sadao spoke to the injured man. He said that the bullet had just missed his kidney. When Sadao would get engrossed in the operation, he would start talking to the patient. He addressed that patient as my friend. He called the injured man also my friend. He forgot that this man was not a friend but an enemy. But very early we have come to know that in the eyes of doctor, nobody is friend and nobody is enemy. He is doctor's patient. She is doctor's patient. Then quickly with the cleanest and most precise of incisions, the bullet was out. The man quivered, but he was still unconscious. Nevertheless, he muttered a few English words. Here there are some words. Precise means accurate. Incisions means surgical cuts. Quivered means shivered or trembled. Muttered means spoke. In this paragraph we see Sadao was quick. He made a few surgical cuts on the body and removed the bullet. The man trembled in pain but remained unconscious. He spoke a few words in English which were an expression of the pain that he was experiencing. Guts, he muttered, choking. They got my guts. Sadao, Hana cried sharply. Hush, Sadao said. The man sank again into silence, so profound that Sadao took up his wrist, hating the touch of it. Yes, there was still a pulse so faint, so feeble, but enough if he wanted the man to live, to give hope. Here the guts means informal word for bravery and determination. Profound means very great or intense. Pulse means heartbeat. Feeble means weak. In this paragraph, when Dr. Sadao was operating on, the injured man choked and said, Guts! They got my guts. He meant that he was brave and courageous and the Japanese army would have a tough time while punishing him. Upon hearing him, Hana cried out to Sadao. Sadao hushed her to keep quiet. The man became so quiet that Sadao held his wrist to check his heartbeat. He was checking if the man was still alive. His pulse was there, although it was very weak. Sadao thought that it was enough for a person who had a desire to live. There was still hope that the man would survive. But suddenly I do not want this man to live, he thought. Sadao was sure that he did not want the man to live. He said to Hana, no more anesthetic, he told Hana. He turned as swiftly as though he had never paused, and from his medicines he chose a small vial and from it filled a hypodermic and thrust it into the patient's left arm. Then putting down the needle, he took the man's wrist again. The pulse under his fingers fluttered once or twice and then grew stronger. Here the words are vial. Vial means a small container, typically cylindrical and made of glass, used especially for holding liquid medicines. You can say injection. Hypodermic means needle, or you can say syringe, or you can say injection. Thrust means pushed. Fluttered means trembled. In this paragraph we see Sadao stopped Hana from administering anesthetic. He turned quickly and chose a small bottle from the medicines. He filled a syringe with the medicine and pushed the vaccine into the man's left arm. Sadao placed the needle down and held the man's wrist. The pulse shivered once or twice and then improved. Means after injecting the man, his pulse improved. This man will live in spite of all, he said to Hannah and sighed. The young man woke, so weak, his blue eyes so terrified when he perceived where he was that Hannah felt compelled to apologize. She herself served him, for none of the servants would enter the room. Here there are two words: compelled means forced, apologize means feel sorry. In this paragraph, we see Sadao took a deep breath as he told Hannah that the injured man would live. He woke up, his blue colored eyes were full of fright, full of fear as he realized where he was. Hannah felt sorry for him. She served him food as the servants refused to enter the room where he was kept. Means when servants refused to all the works of that man, Hannah did all the works. When she came in the first time, she saw him summon his small strength to be prepared for some fearful thing. Here, summon means to gather, to collect. When Hannah met the injured man for the first time after the operation, she saw that the man was gathering strength and he was full of fear. After this, Hannah said, "Don't be afraid." She begged him softly. "How come you speak English?" He gasped. "I was a long time in America," she replied. She saw that he wanted to reply to that, but he could not, and so she knelt and fed him gently from the porcelain spoon. He ate unwillingly, but still he wait. Here there are some words like gasped means to catch one's breath due to astonishment. Knelt means sat on her knees. Porcelain means a white vitrified translucent ceramic, also called china, used for making utensils, pottery, etc. In this paragraph we see Hannah said softly to the injured man that he should not be afraid. He was astonished that she could speak English. Hannah replied that she had lived in America for a long time. The man wanted to speak further but was not able to speak. Hannah fed him gently with a spoon made of porcelain. The man did not want to eat, but still he ate. Now the next paragraph. "Now you will soon be strong," she said, not liking him and yet moved to comfort him. He did not answer. When Sadao came in the third day after the operation, he found the young man sitting up, his face bloodless with the effort. "Lie down," Sadao cried. "Do you want to die?" He forced the man down gently and strongly and examined the wound. "You may kill yourself if you do this sort of thing," he scolded. "What are you going to do with me?" the boy muttered. He looked just now barely 17. "Are you going to hand me over?" In this paragraph, what we see, as Hannah fed the man, she said that soon he would become strong. She said so despite the fact that she disliked him. The man did not reply to her. Sadao visited the man on the third day after the operation. The young boy was sitting, but his face was pale and weak due to the effort that he made while sitting. Sadao screamed at him and ordered him to lie down. He said that the man would die if he stretched himself. Sadao forced him down and inspected the wound that he had operated upon. He scolded the man that he could die if he tried to exert himself. The boy asked Sadao that what would he do with him now? It seemed that the boy was hardly 17 years old. He asked Sadao that would he hand him over to the Japanese army? For a moment, Sadao did not answer. He finished his examination and then pulled the silk quilt over the man. I do not know myself what I shall do with you, he said. I ought, of course, to give you to the police. You are a prisoner of war. No, do not tell me anything. He put up his hand as he saw the young man was about to speak. Do not even tell me your name unless I ask it. Here in this paragraph we see Sadao did not reply instantly. He completed examining the boy and then put the silk quilt on him. Sadao said that he himself did not know what he should do with the boy. He added that he was supposed to hand him over to the police. He also disclosed that he knew that the boy was a prisoner of war. As Sadao saw that the boy was about to speak, he raised his hand to indicate him not to speak. Sadao asked him not to speak and not to tell his name also unless he asked him to do so. Okay, my dear, today we shall do it up to here. In the next class, we shall continue the same chapter. Till then, thank you. Have a nice day.